they're small enough for you to understand them. They're just 1,900,000 is difficult to understand. Clear this. A dairy farmer received $1,000 for 5,000 pounds of milk. Write as a ratio. Write it as a ratio. $1,000, 5,000 pounds. $1,000, 5,000 pounds. If you simplify it, one of the strangest abbreviations in the English language, LBS. Pounds, P-O-U, pounds doesn't have an L, doesn't have a B, does have an S, it's pounds. Why in the world the abbreviation pounds is LBS? Google it, it'll tell you. It's weird. A ratio is just a fraction. A proportion is two ratios that are equal. One fraction equals another. A over B equals C over D. That's a proportion. One of the most amazing things of arithmetic. Absolutely amazing. Equals. Amazing thing. If you have a proportion, and it only works for proportions, doesn't work any other time. But if you have one fraction equal to another fraction, I can multiply in an x. A times D equals B times C. It works. If it works, it's a proportion. If it's a proportion, it works. If it doesn't work, it's not a proportion. If it's not a proportion, it won't work. That's what the first example asks you to do. It says, determine, is this a proportion? Is, it's a question mark, is 3/4 the same as 25 over 30? Actually, I'm going to put the question mark above the equal sign. I don't know if they're equal. That's what I'm trying to decide. That's what it's asking. Let's cross multiply. What's 3 times 30? What's 4 times 25? The answer is no. That's not a proportion because the two fractions are not equal. If the fractions are equal, then it's a proportion. If they're not equal, it's not a proportion. The second one says, is this one a proportion? 6.5 over 3/4. Remember, when you type 3/4, you got to put it in parentheses. Equals 130 over 15. Question, is it a proportion? We'll cross multiply. We'll multiply 6.5 times 15. Question, 3/4 times 130. Do the multiplication. Do the two multiplications. Do you get the same thing on both sides? Yes. What do you get? 97.5. Say it again? 97.5. 97.5. So the question was, is it a proportion? The answer is yes. That's what it asks. You have to have read the question to know how to answer it. Everybody has a tendency in a math class to just look at the numbers and not read the words around it. If you're not 14, some pimply-faced kid sitting in the 9th grade, afraid that somebody's going to think less of you. You're adults, do the work, read the problem. You're adults, make sure you act like adults. Don't make the mistakes you made when you were 14. Read the problem, know what it is they're asking you. This is the way we generally use proportions. You solve for an unknown. 4/9 is equal to 36 over x. It's an equation, but it's a very, very special equation called the proportion. One fraction equals another. I can cross multiply. Doesn't matter which one's first. 4x, 9 times 36. Use your calculator. Whatever 9 times 36 is. 360 minus 36, 344. 324. This is what happens when I try to show off. Okay, divide both sides by 4. X equals 81. You can go through the process. It's a proportion. This only works for proportions. Only time it works. I'm not going to do part B. It's the same process. I want to move to one that's a word problem. All of you have had an opportunity to travel outside of the United States many more times than I have. You got to exchange money. They always, I don't know if exchange. Yeah, I hope the military is kind to you and doesn't charge you like my bank did when I've gone to Europe. I feel like they take too much of my money. But while in Mexico on an exchange trip, Laura Axtell needed to exchange $75 US for Mexican pesos. If 1 US is equal to 11 pesos, $1 US is equal to 11 pesos. That's the ratio. How much will $75 US be? Please watch me. Eyes here. Because I put the dollar sign and I wrote the word pesos, I will not get the 75 in the wrong place. I will not get it in the wrong place. The $75 has to be where the dollars are. How many pesos? Now it's a proportion. If you write the words, you'll always get the next one in the right place. If you leave the words out, toss a coin. Sometimes you'll be right, sometimes you'll be wrong. Good news is, this one's easy. 1 times x is x. 75, 750 and 75, 825. Okay, x is 825 pesos. Not a difficult problem. Number 5, hospital charges patients $117 for 12 capsules. Always in order, $117, 12 caps. Identify it, not just the numbers, give them words. $117, 12 capsules. How much will it charge for 18 capsules? I don't have to guess where to put the 18. It's capsules. I'll always get it in the right place. That's why you write things down. By the way, I'll probably do this multiplication first. 12x. 18 times 117. I'll get my calc. I'm going to surprise you. Watch me again. Not eyes on me, not on your paper. Divide by 12. I'll only use my calculator once. I won't multiply 18 times 117. I'll only use the calculator once. There's arithmetic on top. I'll put it in a parentheses. 18 times 117. The top part ends in a parentheses, divided by the 12. And I only use the calculator once to get 175.5. I could have obviously multiplied 18 times 117, got an answer, and then take that answer, divide by 12. I find it easier to just use the calculator once. Just a calculator technique. It is, you do what you gotta do to get it right. An application problem gets a little harder here. Keep track of the papers. Says a firm in Hong Kong and one in Thailand agree to jointly develop a controller chip to be sold to North American automobile manufacturers. They agree to split the development costs in the ratio of 8-3. This is their ratio, 8-3, and it tells you Hong Kong and Thailand. Their ratio is 8-3. Hong Kong, Thailand.